Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Cold Brew Wrestling Podcast. I almost just said it Cold Brew Podcast, but I also realized this is a wrestling podcast because there is a lot of different types of podcasts, and this is a wrestling type of podcast. With further ado, before we get into the topic of wrestling, I'm yours truly, Spritey, and my fiance had shown me some TikToks on the internet. And I'm not the biggest TikToker in the world, but she had shown me a couple of TikToks, a couple of videos of people drinking pickle juice mixed with lemonade. You heard it? Pickle juice and lemonade. So, got my cup of ice, because for whatever reason, all the TikToks had a cup of ice, specifically with ice. And I have a big jar. Big. I didn't buy it. Don't question me. Just a big, fat, juicy jar of pickles with a lot of juice in it. So we're going to open this sucker up. We're going to pour it in our nice, lovely little jar container, little cup, without making a mess. I can smell that pickle juice here. Ah, God. It is really, out there. We're going to pour this thing if I can without making a mess. Why do I do this? I am very intrigued. I really hope I don't get this on my desk. Okay. I think I got plenty in here now. I may have to pour some back because I don't have too much room in this cup. There we go. Okay. They did about like 50-50, I think. Anyways, pickle juice and a cup. If you guys are watching this on video, you saw. And now we're going to get our lemonade. We got simply lemonade, because why not? Some of my family members have already drinking my lemonade here, but that's okay. I'm not so excited about this. I used to be into pickles a long time ago when I was younger, but it just got old really quickly, so I don't really drink any pickles or eat pickles as much. So we're going to mix the two now. This is going to be interesting. Will it work? Will it not work? I don't know. We will find out. All right. So, why am I doing this? Giving it a good old sniff. Honestly, it smells just like sweeter pickles. Like if you just had a sweet jar of pickles. That's what it smells like. God. The vinegar. You know, vinegar is a scary thing if you think about it. It helps you clean. It's good for your body. It does a lot of wonders. A lot of suspicious wonders, but no one questions it. It's vinegar. And vinegar is held in pickle juice to, keep the pickles the way they are. The main ingredient. I'm just stalling at this point. I really don't want to drink this, if I'm being honest. We're going to try it. Ugh. I'm not tasting much of the lemonade. I did 50-50. I actually poured a little more lemonade than the pickle juice here. Do I have to mix it around? I'm gonna mix it with my finger. See the ice in there. Yeah. I don't recommend this. Trying to get a good swig of it. That's a little better. It being mixed. I think gotta let the water die down a little bit from the ice. Maybe it'll be better. Like I'm trying to put the spot of how it tastes like. I can't. That was nah. I don't know why all the people on the TikToks are making videos of it and getting overly excited over it, but nah. Not for me. My fiance said she already tried this. Wasn't for her. So I figured, let me try it. Here I am trying it. And one last swig. No. It's just a weird combination to begin with. Lemonade and pickle juice. You got like two different sides of the world clashing into one. But the pickle juice is really overtaking it. Maybe if I poured less pickle juice, but you would still get that sort of flavor, pickle juice and lemonade. But why is this a thing? You know, if I had a lemonade stand, I would probably I'd put this on there, just so that way an average Joe who goes up to my lemonade, they'll just think, oh, he has lemonades. But you bring up the idea, lemonade and pickle juice. That's right. What would Joe be thinking right there? Would he want to try it? Would he spend that extra buck to get a nice cup of refreshing pickle juice and lemonade? Why not? The opportunity's there. I don't know. I want to keep sipping it to see if anything's going to change, but I know it won't. I am greeted with disappointment. Don't do this. If you have pickle juice and lemonade, please don't waste your pickle juice or lemonade. Well, you can probably waste the pickle juice. I don't know how many people actually like to drink pickle juice. No, I'm not one of those guys. See, it's really just a strong vinegary taste, and it's just not for me. All right. And you can't get that taste out of your mouth now. It's stuck in my mouth. I should have had a thing of water next to me. I'm stuck here now. I'm stuck here for the next 40 minutes having to deal with this taste. I mean, I guess I have my lemonade here, but that's part of the taste that's in my mouth. I can't get away. Why do I do this to myself? I call this the Cold Brew Wrestling Podcast, and I've yet to have a cold brew anything except for this awful thing going on here. Okay. So, wrestling. Kenny Omega has officially returned back into wrestling. For those of you who are not aware, but you are most likely aware. Seeing Kenny Omega in that awful shoulder brace, like, that thing looks tight on him. Like, that is a bulky little thing that is strapped around his shoulder. On top of that, he is wearing like a sort of sporting attire for his upper torso, just like a long-sleeved black, I don't know what to call it, some sort of sporting torso. And it's interesting because when he wrestled, you can obviously tell he's got a little bit of a ring rust to him. He's not exactly 100% there, and I don't know if he had practiced wrestling prior. He most likely has, but it just seems you could tell he's not been in the ring for too long. He's definitely taken the long needed break that he needs, but does he need more time? Is this a little bit too early to bring out the Omega? Because it just feels like this isn't the Omega that we all knew and loved when he came out. Granted, he did have the huge pop. His attire when he came out, perfect, describes Omega in his fashion. And his wrestling wasn't awful, but it wasn't the best. It's definitely not the best Omega we've seen. It might be one of the worst wrestlings we've seen him do, but probably just saw that ring rust. Who knows? I don't know what his recovery is like. I don't think anyone knows his situation. All I know is that maybe this is a little bit early. Maybe we're pushing it a little too early. Maybe we should hold off on this, wait a little bit longer. I don't know, because I would hate to see something happen to him in that ring early. You don't want that for a big star like Omega, when you can just probably wait it out a couple more months maybe, and then get the Omega back and then have him longer for the long run, because you don't want to risk an injury and you don't want him to be out even more longer, because injuries in AEW happen almost all the time because they premiere better wrestling and they premiere better matches there and they premiere high quality stuff. But with that, you have more risks in the ring, and you're hurting your talent all the time. You know, Sammy Guevara, he's gotten beaten up a lot, and so sometimes he needs a break. When Bryan Danielson was injured, he needed some time off, but all the fans were just hoping, like, oh gosh, I hope his neck is okay. Like, I hope nothing has to deal with that. Like, and Bryan just wrestles a lot. Bryanson wrestles a lot, and it's just a little bit concerning, But it is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta trust the system. Sometimes you just gotta understand that this is all that it is. I watched SmackDown for a little bit last week. Only a little bit, just because it was like the SmackDown 1200, even though I don't think they've ever celebrated that with Raw. Yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating that I can remember SmackDown 1000 like yesterday, but it's already 200 episodes deep in. That's like a 4-year difference. Doesn't it make you feel older when people, keep track of things? It wasn't an exciting show or anything. It just, not in my experience, or not from what I was watching. It wasn't too fascinating. It seems like the WWE is more focused on Raw than they are on SmackDown. Nothing about the SmackDown episode really stuck out as spectacular or anything. It's not like it's a bad show or anything. It's just a show, a decent show. Probably, if you're in the area, definitely worth to watch live. But on TV, I don't think you'd be missing much from skipping out on it, if I'm being honest. Because again, it just seems like they're pursuing more things on Raw. You're getting a little better quality matches on Raw. And yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes that's what happens when the brand split is no longer in existence. And, man, I love the brand split. Just put the brand split back in. The brand split really made both shows unique. I loved it in the 2000s era when SmackDown had its own little Titantron and their own stage sets and different feel, different color, different wrestlers. And then you got Raw doing their thing with their stages, their wrestlers, their brand. Like, it's just something about the two brands being split made a huge difference. But now you got wrestlers going on both shows. It's a little overwarming. Like, they do major stuff on Raw, and then they do little stuff on SmackDown that doesn't matter too much, but just only a little. Oh my goodness, I'm sitting on my leg, and it feels like it's going numb, and I hate when this pain happens. So I'm just going to get off of that. I'm going to scoot up my chair and talk more about wrestling, even though there's not too much going on. And I don't want to drink any more of this Pickle juice thing that I've created, this monstrosity. But later this week, when this podcast comes out, 2 days, Sunday, we are going to see KSI fight in the boxing. Yes, I'm a YouTuber, and of course I come from this beautiful boxing, or not boxing, but YouTube background. I was about to say boxing background, but I don't have too much knowledge in boxing background. And, okay, what annoys me to death is when YouTubers do this boxing event and they have a lot of people watching it, but they don't know anything about boxing. So they go on the internet, and when they see something they don't like on this pay-per-view, they'll go on the internet and they'll complain without actually acknowledging the rules, without actually experiencing what boxing is like, without any prior experience to boxing whatsoever. This could be their first match. And if they see something they don't agree or like, they'll go on Twitter or whatever, Reddit, and then they'll complain about it. And you'll just see a bunch of bad takes about it. And it's like, no. Get off the internet. Please, just get off the Twitter. Just sit back, relax, look, enjoy the fights. They have a great card going on here, by the way. Now, I am still a little bit disappointed that KSI is not going against Alex Pusabi. That is his official new name. It's no longer Wasabi, it's Pusabi. I think that has been declared. And now, KSI is going up against Swarms and Luis Alcaraz. It's Luis. In America, it's Lewis or whatever. But Louis comes from Mexico, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right or not, but yeah. So KSI fighting two guys at once. Swarms being a starter in the boxing world. I'm not expecting too much from him, let's be honest. But we can expect a huge, bigger matchup because Louis is 2-5. Now, I searched up this Louis guy, and I'm going to search it up again just to make sure I'm right. And I noticed something on his boxing record. There's a website that's dedicated to keeping boxing records. And I just wanted to search up his name and be reminded of what is going on. Louis is suspended by Ontario Athletic Commission. And I'm just over here like, what? What did Louis do? And I'm looking at his boxing record, and he's only boxed in Canada once. Oh, let's see. And he won. Wait, did he win that fight? I'm looking. No, he lost that fight. He lost that fight, what looks like to be in 35 seconds? I have no idea. I'm just looking at the stats going on boxing record. But I want to know, what happened in Canada? Why is he suspended? What did he do? Did he take, like, drugs or something? Like, it doesn't explain to you why. It just shows that he got defeated by Roland, who made his debut against him in Canada. Let's look at Roland Jeffrey. Anytime I look at the boxing record, I kind of just want to look at the list of opponents, and it just goes straight from there. I'll be looking at other boxing records. Oh gosh, apparently they boxed in a steakhouse, or is that just the place? I'm gonna search up this place. Okay, sorry about this. I'm just searching. It looks like a steakhouse. They fought in a steakhouse. Yeah. Wow. Okay. You learn something new every day. But I don't know. It's so weird. Lost in 35 seconds. I don't even know what round it was. It doesn't tell you what round. At least I'm not saying it. I'm blind. Whatever. Yeah, that was just the point I wanted to bring up. He is suspended in Ontario. Why? That's so weird. What is in his suspension? What is he suspended for, and how does that affect him? Well, obviously it's not stopping him from boxing, but he's been on a losing streak ever since that too. Poor guy. I'm not saying poor guy. We'll see what he's like when he boxes KSI, which will be an exciting match. It is, anyways, it's disappointing that Alex Pasabi backed out, and he most likely got convinced by Jake Paul to back out because Jake Paul didn't get his boxing fight the way he'd hope. And, I find it interesting that even though KSI's opponent backed out, KSI was still able to keep the event going, and he was still able to improve himself, and he's still able to put up a show. He did put in 2 fighters instead of 1. Swarms, everyone's complaining about him, so why not fight another person? Swarm's probably going to be an easy target anyways. And it's kind of disappointing that Jake Paul couldn't find anyone else, because I forgot. I don't think it was too long that Jake Paul's opponent backed out either. But between Jake Paul and his what was supposed to be his opponent, there's a lot of contract negotiations, a lot of contract clauses that happened, and it just was not in a good place, even though they both initially agreed to what they signed to. Resham, I don't know how to say his name, don't kill me. He backed out. Jake Paul's opponent backed out from it because of the type of clauses that happen. Can't blame him. It's just mixed opinions on that one. I'm not going to go deep into it. But it's disappointing that Jake Paul couldn't have find a replacement, or he couldn't have had a backup replacement like KSI did, because KSI is smart about that. He's gonna continue working hard. He's not gonna displease his fans. He's gonna try to please his fans because he's a people's person. He pleases his fans. Jake Paul, I don't think he cares about his fans. Alex Pasabi definitely does not care about his fans. He's not. Still, to this day, he has not posted anything about his medical records. He has not talked to his fans. He has not really shown that he is sorry that he had to back out. He's just in it for himself at this point. And I don't know how people can like his content. I don't know how people are into him at all. It amazes me, honestly. But it is what it is. You can't change things. But anyways, it's disappointing that Jake Paul had to cancel his entire pay-per-view. Like, that is a great quality pay-per-view for Madison Square Garden, even without Jake. And him backing up from that just destroyed the entire lineup for all the people who are supposed to box. Like, what? Okay. So, ever since that, it seems like Jake Paul has been trying to cancel KSI's event, but that ain't happening. And, of course, KSI is not going to but try to fight anyone that might be underneath Jake Paul's wing. You know, you got a lot of people that we want KSI to see fight, but a lot of these people are under Jake Paul's wing, or like they'll get just paid to leave. You know, just paid to leave. And unfortunately, KSI legally has to say that Alex Pisabi backed out due to a concussion, which is just feels false. It feels false. But that's my take on the boxing. I'm excited for it. The 27th, I am doing a run. In case you were wondering what all these medals are for, I do a lot of 5Ks and racings and stuff like that. I like to run. I like to be fast. It just makes me feel like I'm staying healthy in a way. Don't drink this. This is not hydrating at all. But I like to hydrate myself. I like to, it's a beautiful collection. I hope to add more in the future. I've taken a bit of a break the past year because I've just been so busy doing this and that, fighting YouTube and their false monetization policies. Like, my main channel is Sprite Picks, right? And I used to be able to monetize my videos and make ad revenue. And they've taken that away from me because, quote unquote, reuse content. They'll slap that on my monetization page when I try to reapply and I get denied, and then they'll just say I have reused content. I'm not going to be able to reapply for another 30 days, but I can make a video appeal and see if it gets approved. No, I made 2 video appeals, both got denied, so it just feels pointless at that point. But for whatever reason, even though I'm the one who makes the videos and I have the webcam, I'm the one who's recording, I'm the one who's editing for hours, I'm the one who's dedicated all my time onto this channel, I am the one who gets to get hurt. Like, it's just a gaming channel. There's a lot of gaming channels out there. Mr. Beef's Gaming, you got PewDiePie, you got Valkyrie, you got Pokimane, you got all sorts of gaming channels. The Boys, like Narrator, you got Sidemen doing gaming. Like, my channel's no different from all these other different channels, but because I guess I'm just a smaller channel, I'm the one who gets hurt, and they don't. Maybe because they bring in the views and I don't, but it's just silly because they slap me with reuse content, meaning they think I'm stealing other people's work and I'm just twisting it. I'm not doing that. I'm recording my own stuff. I don't even do reaction videos, and I think reaction videos is technically like stealing other people's videos, isn't it? Like TikToks or top 10 videos. Like, you're putting your small little face in the corner of that screen while the top 10 video is playing. You might as well be just stealing it. You might as well just be stealing from Mojo or whatever, you know? It just doesn't make sense to me that, like, people can do that and get away with it and get paid for it, but I'm my own channel who does my own work, and I've only made one video of TikTok reactions, but I didn't want to do any more because I don't want to steal other people's work. Like, those TikToks, people work on those as well. And me taking that to put my little head in the corner of the screen just reacting to it just feels phony in a little sense. It just doesn't feel right. I get the reaction videos because they are entertaining. You love to see your favorite star on YouTube react to different viral videos and stuff like that. But it just, to me, if I'm doing it, it just feels like I'm stealing it. Even though I'm going to be reacting to it and all that, it just feels like I'm stealing it. So that's why I'm not doing that. That's why I'm not stealing from other people's videos. I'm not twisting other people's videos. I'm recording my own stuff, putting my own twist to it, uploading it on YouTube. And I've been battling with YouTube almost all year since winter. all year this year. And so it's taken up a lot of time because I had to renovate my channel to try to make it up to their standards. And still, it's not working well for me. I've deleted over 1,000 videos on my channel. They don't like it. I've edited every video I have. I've edited descriptions, titles, thumbnails. I've edited each and every video that I've got on my channel, and it still got me nowhere. I've edited my channel. I've put in a different banner, different profile picture. I put in a descriptive description on my channel. They don't like it. I don't know what more to do. I'm trying to slap answers out of YouTube, and they're not giving me anything. I've slapped them on Twitter many a times. It's an automated message every time. Here's a link to our monetization policies. The same page that I've gone over hundreds and hundreds of times, and yet I am still disapproved from the monetization tab, even though I'm following everything they want me to follow on there. I look at their list, and then I look at my channel. I look at their list again. I go through everything, each and little detail that they have on that list. I go back through my channel. Still, for whatever reason, I am not monetized. But that's okay. That's okay. Because when I made YouTube way back when, of course it wasn't about the money. I was a kid. And all I wanted to do was entertain people, make content, feel proud of myself. That is still my mission today. Make content, be happy with myself, make other people happy, and carry on about my day. So whether I do or do not get paid from this platform, I will be okay. For as long as I know I can make someone happy. For as long as I know I can make someone's day a lot better than what it used to be. For as long as I can make that sort of effect to someone's life, I think that was what was the most important about doing this whole thing to begin with. Because, yes, it is nice having tons and tons of views, but it's nicer when you know you can make an impact to someone else's life and change bad habits to good habits, be a good influencer, do everything you can to, I don't know, just make a difference in life, make a difference in this world, because this world can be a little bit cruel. This world can be a little bit evil. You know, outside of your home, when you go to work, it doesn't matter where you work, there's always going to be that one person to ruin your day. And and all it does is take one person to ruin your day. And I think that's what's the most disappointing part about life, is that you'll go to work and you'll try your best to exceed in life, but you always have that one person just to ruin your day. Whether it be a Karen, your boss, coworker, there's always going to be some sort of problem. And if you have multiple problems throughout the day, maybe it's time to change your job. Just a little hint. But if you have a good job, and it's still one person can ruin it so easily. The world is cruel. Drivers, when you're driving a car, people suck at driving. People are the worst at driving. Ugh. So that's my take on that. I'm trying to be as entertaining as I can be on the good old platform. Wow, I barely talked about wrestling in this podcast. We're already almost 30 minutes deep and nothing about wrestling other than Kenny Omega's return and SmackDown. A little bit of SmackDown, a little bit of Raw, even though I didn't really talk about SmackDown's bits at all whatsoever. I regret nothing. However, can we talk about that Jon Moxley and CM Punk promo? Now, after that promo, a lot of people took to the internet and are complaining about CM Punk, about how he's unhappy there and he's just doing it for himself. And I'm just over here like, yeah, I think CM Punk has each and every one of you fooled. Like, you got CM Punk and Tony Khan probably in the background just smiling that they got a lot of the people in the wrestling community fooled. Because that would most likely be the definition of kayfabe, you know? Now, I don't know if CM Punk calling out Adam Page was a shoot or a script or whatever it may be, because when Adam Page didn't come out, that was a little bit shocking. I don't know, it was a little weird. But John Silver did tweet almost immediately about Adam Page, like, oh yeah, he's in catering. So it's like, I don't know. Something about this seems like it was planned. Something about it seemed like it was scripted. Can't believe everything you see on the internet. It's just one of those things. So that's where I'm at. Is that a lot of these people must be fooled or something. I don't know. You can't just sit back and relax and enjoy the hot promos that happened on TV. It is getting spicy between the beef of CM Punk and Jon Moxley. And I'm not going to lie. I would like to see Jon Moxley win that title match against CM Punk. It seems like the right move. Because Jon Moxley is the now, CM Punk is the past. Granted, CM Punk is the champion for now. It just, something about Jon Moxley feels like it's his time still. This is his world. And he has been with AEW since day one. And he has been carrying the torch since day one when he entered the company. It just feels like AEW is Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is AEW. And something about CM Punk doesn't feel the same. Granted, he is in AEW and he is killing it. And he had great feuds, such as with MJF. And he's been wrestling. Well, he isn't wrestling as much now, but he did just get back from recovery. So hopefully he gets back to wrestling a little bit more. I don't know. I like to see CM Punk wrestle. Just some of the younger talent, seeing what he can do in the ring. But, wow. Imagine what the summer of Punk would have been like if he had not been injured. You know, I think Punk doing the Pepsi plunge earlier this year on MJF at Revolution probably busted his knees right then and there. If I'm being honest, that most likely did not help his case whatsoever. Hot takes, cold brews. It is what it is. I just feel like that's how it went down. But I am happy I got to see CM Punk that day actually on Revolution. You know, because I don't think he's ever going to do a throwback like he did at that day. Because MJF called out CM Punk, and MJF wanted prime Punk. He wanted the Punk that he grew up watching. And we got that with the shorts, with the jacket, with everything that happened that day. We got it all. The Pepsi plunge. Probably the last time we'll most likely see that maneuver because of his knees. Wow. Phenomenal. A dog collar match, too. It's the second dog collar match to have happened in AEW. And I've seen the first one. I've seen the first one with Cody Rhodes and Brody Lee. That was fun. I've already talked about that the last podcast, though. But this podcast is this podcast. And, Revolution 2022 was a very great pay-per-view. I hope they do something in Orlando again. I don't know. The crowd wasn't too bad. The parking kind of sucked because I parked a little bit far away from the arena. And when I got there, the lines were so big. Like the pre-show had started, and I'm still outside in line just like trying to get in. Like, this is taking long. But that's what happens when I get spoiled at Daly's Place, because at Daly's Place, everyone was able to come inside before the show began. You know, get your snacks, get your food, get your shirt if you wanted a shirt. Oh, gosh. I mean, I just remembered how toxic it was getting a shirt at Daly's. So instead of going up to the stand and just saying, I want that shirt, and you get the shirt, what they did was they made it like an online shop, where you go on your phone and they have a link on a board that you just follow, either with a QR code or you just put in the link, and it will take you to their virtual shop. You selected what you wanted, whether it be a shirt. Some days had less items than others, Like pay-per-view shows, they had a bunch of stuff. When it came to just regular daily shows, sometimes it would just be less. But I remember you go on there, they had like 6-7 things or whatever. You click on a shirt, and then you have to wait. You have to wait like 15-20 minutes for it to be ready, because they're dealing with multiple orders, so they give you a time frame of when it's expected to be. And then I think they sent you a text when it's ready, so you go back to that stand, you show them your phone because it has the receipt number on there or whatever, or and your name, the username and receipt number or whatever, to make sure like, hey, this is your shirt, you get your shirt. That was a little bit annoying, because sometimes when I got there, I just wanted to just sit in my chair and watch wrestling. I didn't really want to be interrupted having to get up and get my shirt. I'm the type of person who typically likes to get my stuff before I go to my seat. And when the show begins, I don't really like to miss a single beat. And unless there's like an intermission of some sort, then maybe I'll get up. But typically, I don't even use the restroom, but most of the time I don't have to use the restroom when I'm there. I typically go before I go, you know? But they didn't have that system with the food stands over there. With the food, you actually just go up to the little dailies, as I talked about last podcast, their little daily shop, and you just grabbed whatever, and you went up to the counter that way. So it's interesting to me that they didn't care about the food as much as they did with like the clothes. I don't know. Just very interesting. Wrestling. What is your favorite wrestling moment? I have many wrestling moments. Like, I was there for the Matt Hardy return at WrestleMania 33. I was way up high in those seats, right below one of the stadiums, Titantron. I was there for Mania 33. And, it wasn't hard to get into that place. Honestly, I thought, like, lines were going to be a mess. It wasn't, because they had multiple entrances around the stadium. And so I just went to the closest entrance to my seat, went through there. And the stadium's old. It needs to be updated. Last time I was there, it needs to be a little updated. It was a little bit of a mess with the stadium. It wasn't as prestigious as I thought it would be. Then again, they don't really use that stadium for much other than like concerts in Orlando and stuff like that. But yeah, that was fun though. And there was like a wrestling match going on in the crowd while the pre-show was going on. That was random. Yeah, no, I think that was definitely one of my favorite events, even though I will say it was a long show. Like, I remember WrestleManias used to be a little bit shorter, but now it's like a 2-night extravaganza going on there. I'm not too big. I'm not a fan of the 2 nights. I don't like the 2 nights. I just want it one night, one day. You don't need a weekend dedicated to WrestleMania, because you've already got wrestling shows prior to that, because they'll most likely slap an exclusive deal where you can attend Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and then NXT pay-per-view. They don't do the NXT pay-per-views where they go to arenas before a pay-per-view, which is a little bit disappointing, but that's okay. Hopefully they'll bring it back, because boy, was NXT very fun. But now that Triple H is under control of a lot of things going on, he might push a lot of these like old NXT guys like very well. We might get some quality grade A matches again. But I'm hoping to see NXT go back to the way it was. I mean, I don't know. I guess they've gone too far where they can't, but the current setup that they have there, I'm not too much of a fan of the flying rainbows and I don't know, the look of the arena. It just feels more Hollywood. It just feels more polished than I would like it to be, because NXT felt like an underground WWE show, and I guess that's essentially what it was when Triple H was under that control. And I've been to a couple of their NXT shows, the Gold and Black brand, in 2019 when things were still somewhat alright. Seeing Rhea Ripley win her first NXT title against, what was her name, Shania? Don't quote me on this. I know I have my notebook, but I'm too lazy to go get it and to actually look at it and find a page and then read the name. But, what is it, Shania Blazer? I feel like I'm getting this wrong, but I'm also getting this right. But I don't want to stand with what I'm saying, so I'm just going to say I saw Rhea Ripley win the NXT title, and I was there for that celebration when everyone went into the ring, jumped around, and had a good old jolly time. That was a fun time. And I went to another NXT show before that, a couple months earlier in October. That was also a fun show. What was it? I can't remember that show either. That was when I first saw Keith Lee, though. That's when I first saw Keith Lee wrestle against someone. Yeah, no name. It still is a no name. But that was the first time I saw Keith Lee. And I heard of Keith Lee. I didn't watch NXT a lot at that time, but it was still cool. And I liked to participate in it. And it was my first time watching Keith Lee, and I was amazed at his wrestling ability. Like, he put 110% into the match that he wrestled that night, and it was a spectacular. It was phenomenal, and I had very good seats that time. Like, I was front row, camera hard on, just right there, smack dab in the middle, wrestling ring right in front of me, and I got to watch a lot of things unfold. I'm pretty sure NXT still does it where if you're first in line, you get like front row seats or whatever. Because when I went, you would be in a line, and a line would go around Full Sail University. It's a smaller college than most places, so don't think it's like a big, huge building or whatever. It's a line that goes around just this medium-sized building, and basically, first one gets first, whatever, and they have it lined up where, like, all right, first row's all taken, the line will continue going on the second row, and then third, fourth, fifth, and it would be bleachers all around. They'll just cram you, and I guess that was kind of annoying, being crammed next to people, because some people were cool. Some people were not cool. Some people you just did not want to sit next to. So, when you're waiting in line, you kind of want to, like, look at your surroundings like, okay, I'm probably going to sit next to these people. Do I like these people, or am I going to have to move? It was that kind of setting. But no matter where you sat at that arena, well, it's not even an arena. I wouldn't call it an arena, but no matter where you would sit, it's not a bad seat wherever you would be at. Like, they just had good seats all around. And $10 at that time, I don't know what it's like now. I haven't gone to an NXT in Orlando in quite some time, like 3 years now. But at that time, it used to be $10, and then like they did have like $20 VIP sittings for the front row, hard camera section. That would be it. But it's just interesting to me. $20. Spend VIP to sit front row. It would be good seats, actually. Yeah, because that you would get to experience with the wrestlers, and $10 is not bad. $10 is not bad at all for a national live TV show that had all the stars. Now they don't have all major stars. I mean, yeah, they have a couple, but the stars back then are not as big as the stars on the show now. That's just my take. That's my cold brew take on NXT, is that it's just not as big as it used to be. But it is what it is. That's my cold brew wrestling podcast episode number 2. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to see you guys next time. If you guys want to watch next time, hopefully. We'll talk about the fight of KSI against Swarms and KSI against Louis? I don't know. We'll probably talk about more of Dynamite. We'll probably talk more about Kenny Omega if he wrestles. I'm not too sure what's going to happen in Dynamite. By the time this episode has come out, I have not watched the previous Dynamite. Sorry, not sorry. But we'll definitely get there. We'll talk about it. I'm going to try to watch Raw and SmackDown. I'm going to try to get opinions on it, but no promises. I regret nothing. I'll try. I'll make an effort. It's just harder to watch. It's not my fault. The pay-per-views are easier to watch because it's on a Sunday or whatever. I have time for that. But when it's on like a Monday and Friday and I gotta work or whatever, yeah, sometimes it's hard. But with AEW, I'll make the time for AEW because at least I know the content's worth to watch or what to look, because they're doing something on that episode, or every Wednesday anyways. I meant to just say goodbye by now, so I'm going to say goodbye. And I'll see you guys next week. If you like, comment, rate, subscribe. Do whatever you do. Thank you for listening to wherever you're listening from. And go to bed.